Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Monday, July the 13th, 2020. On today's show, we continue along with the position unit previews today. We are breaking down the Gamecocks running backs heading into the 2020 season. We'll take a look back at 2019, meet the running backs. I'll talk about who has the most to prove, the best overall, season will be successful if, and give my overall grade for the unit. Also, some news and notes to get into, your listener questions, and a fantastic interview with Marco Washington. You know him better as Marco808. You also know him better as the creator of the Sandstorm remix. Marco, a good friend of mine. We have a phenomenal conversation about just how that idea came about for him, his life overall, where his inspiration comes from. We'll talk a little bit of Carolina as well. Fantastic interview, guys. A lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. It's all brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Go download the SeatGeek app, go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP. You're going to save $20 off your first purchase. Guys, it is the best ticket buying app by far. The only one I use, the only one I recommend for a number of reasons. But one of them, they have a great ticket rating system which rates the tickets for you based on the type of deal you're getting, guys. So never again do you have to worry about, listen, in this post-COVID world, we're not going to scalp tickets anymore, right? We don't want to come interacting with people. We don't want to come within 6 feet of people. Fine. You don't have to do that anymore. It's all digital purchase through SeatGeek. And you're going to know the biggest thing is, Chris, I want to make sure I'm getting the best bang for my buck, right? I want to make sure I'm not getting ripped off. SeatGeek does all of that work for you. They're going to make sure you're getting the absolute best deal. They're going to show you a deal score. You're going to know exactly what are the people around you paying. And listen, guys, sports are returning. Sports are returning. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, all of those are returning. Hopefully, fingers crossed, college football. And fans at some point are going to be in the stands. You want to make sure you're getting your tickets. And again, when you're getting your tickets, everybody wants to get a good deal. Everybody wants to get that bang for the buck. Everybody wants to save money, right? So we can go in the stadium. We can purchase beverages. We can purchase souvenirs. We can purchase merchandise. Whatever it may be. Any way you can save money is always good. SeatGeek is going to help you do that. Again, with their ticket rating system, it's the best bang for your buck. You're going to have that confidence when you click the buy button that, hey, I know I'm getting a good deal. You have that peace of mind. Now you can just go enjoy the event. And if you don't want to go to a sports event, once they return concerts, comedy club events, they have tickets to literally anything and everything. But of course, if you're getting Gamecock sporting event tickets, SeatGeek is the place to go. So again, that's our friends at SeatGeek. Go download the SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP. That's SPURSUP to save $20 off your first purchase. Let's get it. The Spurs Up Show, as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a packed show as we are continuing along with the position unit preview series, talking about the Gamecocks running backs today. A position, a lot of turnover, a position that's going to be very, very, very important to South Carolina's success this 2020 football season. Before we get into everything really quickly, guys, as always, if you have not done so, rate and subscribe to the show. Rate the show. Go leave 5 stars. Go leave your thoughts, feedback, whatever. Whether you be on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever it may be, I appreciate and genuinely like when I can communicate with the people that listen to this podcast, that consume the content. If you have any feedback or if you just want to show some love, I know a lot of you already done so, and those of you who have done so, I say thank you so much. But if you haven't, go take 5 seconds out of your day, go leave 5 stars. And again, if you want to leave a little bit right up, there's suggestions you have, things you like, things you don't like, things you want to see more of from me, from the podcast, whatever, from the content even. That's a great place to do it. So, again, go rate the show. Go leave 5 stars. Also, if you're listening and not subscribed, I genuinely do not know what you are doing at this point. Hammer that subscribe button. Click the follow button on social media if you haven't done so. Click the subscribe button on YouTube, on every single outlet. We are literally everywhere. TikTok, you name it. The Spurs Up Show is all the place. Be sure to follow. Be sure to subscribe. It helps boost the podcast, helps others as well that maybe aren't familiar with it to find it as well. So be sure to rate and subscribe, guys. And for those that have already done so, I truly do appreciate it. All right, let's dive right into it again. The offseason continues, a lot going on. We are continuing along with the position unit previews, and today we are talking about the Gamecocks running backs heading into this 2020 football season. Before we do that, before we talk about 2020, let's take a look back at 2019. Very interesting year. If you guys remember 2019, the Gamecocks had a lot of questions coming into that 2019 season. You remember Thomas Brown was hired as the running backs coach who, we thought would make a big impact. We definitely thought Thomas Brown would be a dude. He was a stud in college. knew what he was talking about, was obviously a major upgrade over Bobby Bentley, who I know the majority of us were not huge fans of him at the running back coach position. So you upgrade massively with Thomas Brown, and I would say it paid off major dividends. You also get Tavian Feaster, the transfer from Clemson, because you remember last year it was wide open. It was a crapshoot last year as far as to who was going to be the starting running back. Rico Dowdle had battled injury, had been very inconsistent. Mon Denson really hadn't shown you anything. He'd been okay in his time at Carolina. Desean Fenwick had been okay and very limited playing time. So Tavian Feaster came in, was supposed to be the guy that was really going to take over the role. I thought he was going to be the guy that was going to be the bona fide number one guy. He was going to be the bell cow back, if you will. I thought he was going to be the feature back. And Rico Dowdle and Mon Denson sort of would have been his complementary 2-3 guys. What we saw happen over the summer and then the fall, and if you guys remember, we talked to Michael Scarnecchia about this last fall when I had him on an interview, that when Tavian Feaster got on campus, Rico Dowdle flipped the switch. He changed the way he ate, changed the way he prepared, changed the way he practiced, and you could definitely see it. I mean, again, unfortunately, battled some injury last year as well. Tavian Feaster did end up being the leading rusher for the Gamecocks, 124 carries, 672 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But Rico Dowdle right behind him, 106 carries, 498 yards, 4 touchdowns. Mon Denson, 39 carries, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kevin Harris come behind him, the true freshman. Obviously, his big breakout day was against Charleston Southern, but he had 21 carries, 179 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then Desean Fenwick, 22 carries for 111 yards to round out the running back group. So very spread out in regards to the touchdowns are concerned. Now, obviously, again, Feaster and Dowdle were your feature backs. And again, I think everybody was, I don't want to say shocked, because we knew Rico Dowdle had it in him when he was a true freshman. You saw those flashes, but I know I was very surprised to see the Rico Dowdle that we saw last year. I mean, that was by far, I thought, the best Rico looked in his career. Tavian Feaster, I thought, had a solid campaign, maybe not quite as much as I expected. But overall, the Gamecocks running game in 2019 did leave some things to be desired. I mean, again, Thomas Brown did wonders with the running back group. There's no question. He got as much production out of the running backs as we had seen in quite some time. But listen, the stats speak. Gamecocks finished 149.7 yards per game on the ground, which was 10th in the SEC and good enough for 82nd nationally. So the running game was not overwhelming by any means, but I thought you saw some guys. And again, I thought there was a real philosophical change, if you will, with the running back position. I just think having a guy like Thomas Brown in there obviously changed that. Fast forward to now. We're about to meet the running backs coming into this 2020 season. Thomas Brown is no longer there. Thomas Brown is no longer your running backs coach. So things have obviously changed. Let's meet the running backs heading into the 2020 football season. Obviously, you have MarShawn Lloyd, the freshman. He is the storyline coming in the 2020 season, no doubt. The highly touted blue chipper recruit. I know we're all fired up for what MarShawn Lloyd can do, the true freshman. Kevin Harris, the sophomore. Desean Fenwick, a sophomore. Slade Carroll, a senior. Zach Doe, the freshman. And then DeQuandre White, the junior, the transfer, coming in as a junior. Let's talk most improved, best overall. Season will be successful with overall grade. You guys know the drill. And this one's kind of interesting because my most improved and best overall, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you guys. They're the same guy because, listen, I could sit here and talk about, and I'll talk about him a little bit, but I could sit here and kind of go through and talk about the position battle, and I think there will certainly be a battle. But the running back position revolves around one guy, and that one guy is MarShawn. He is the biggest storyline and the biggest talking point heading into this 2020 season. And that's why he's certainly got the most to prove to me. Listen, I'm a little nervous putting the type of expectations on him that I know a lot of us do because he is a true freshman. You know what I mean? This is the SEC, and as a true freshman, he's going to take his lumps. He's going to have his growing pains. But when you're the highest-rated running back signee since a guy named Marcus Lattimore wore the garnet and black, those expectations are just going to come. We had MarShawn Lloyd on the show listening to him, why he chose South Carolina. He chose South Carolina because he knew he was going to play. And I'll go ahead and say up front, guys, I fully expect MarShawn Lloyd to be the day one starting running back. Maybe Kevin Harris gets the first snaps in the Coastal Carolina game just simply because, he was there last year and he has some experience. But I fully expect MarShawn Lloyd to be the guy in this 2020 season. I expect him to be the feature back for this Gamecocks offense. And if South Carolina, if they have a successful season, if they make a bowl game, if they win 7 or more games, it's going to be because MarShawn Lloyd's a household name, which moves me to the best overall. And I think you have to continue to talk about it. MarShawn Lloyd, I think even though he has not taken a college snap yet, I think MarShawn Lloyd's the best running back out of this group. I mean, there's nothing that'll tell you differently in this scenario. There's nothing – because, listen, I think Kevin Harris is a solid player. I think he's a nice change of pace guy. I think he's a nice short yardage guy. I think he's a nice goal line guy. I do. But he ain't no MarShawn Lloyd. And it doesn't even matter to me. I don't need to see MarShawn Lloyd take a college snap to say that. Desean Fenwick, I've always liked Desean Fenwick's game, but for whatever reason, he's just not been able to get on the field. I've heard different things. He's not a great pass blocker. There's some other things that might affect him, but he's never been able to find any consistency. And then you factor in Quan White, the transfer. How does he factor in? Great pass catcher, great athlete, has had his troubles off the field. But I think MarShawn Lloyd has the most to prove, but I certainly think he is the best overall running back out of this group. A group, by the way, I was reading up on this stat, and I thought this was really interesting and eye-opening. The Gamecocks obviously losing their top 3 running backs, Tavian Feaster, Dowdle, and Denson. 78% of your rushing yards are gone from a year ago. 78% are gone. So, this is a position unit with a lot of talent, but a lot of question marks as well. Let's move into the season will be successful if, and I'll talk more about that. Again, it all revolves around MarShawn Lloyd in this situation. The season will be successful if MarShawn Lloyd simply lives up to his potential. If MarShawn Lloyd is the guy we think he is, this running game will be good. Now, listen, there are outside factors that are going to affect that. Your offensive line's got to block. The passing game needs to do something to help you out. Having stability at quarterback would certainly help that out. But all factors aside, if MarShawn Lloyd lives up to his potential, he's going to be the starting running back. And he's going to have a very, very good freshman season. He's going to be an all-SEC freshman team guy. Bottom line, he's going to be that guy. Stays healthy, all that good stuff. He's going to. He has that type of talent. I forgot who ran. I don't know if it was 24/7 Sports or Rivals or somebody was ranking, I think, their top 30 or they had a list of the top running backs in college football coming in the 2020 season. MarShawn Lloyd was in the top 30 of those guys. And he's never taken a college snap. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, speaks to you of how good this dude is, how good he can be. So for the running back unit, if MarShawn Lloyd lives up to his potential, this group will be fine. Because, again, I like Kevin Harris in a complimentary role. I like Kevin Harris getting 8 to 10 carries a game. I like Desean Fenwick getting 8 to 10. Quandre White, we'll see what he can do. I don't know a lot about him. I know he's an athlete. Beyond that, we'll have to see. Great pass catcher. Guy who can make plays out of the backfield. But if MarShawn Lloyd pans out, you got a good stable. You really do. You really have a good stable back there. Overall grade for this unit, and some of you might be surprised after hearing me speak so highly about MarShawn Lloyd. I'll tell you, I almost gave this unit a D+. But I'm going to give the overall grade a C-. And the reason I'm doing that is just because when you're depending on a true freshman, the grade can't be that high. You don't have a lot of experience. You lost, like I said, 78% of your rushing yardage. And you lost 78% of your rushing yardage from a group of guys who ranked 10th in the SEC rushing. So this grade, to me, the potential of this group is much higher. But right now, knowing what we know and seeing what we've seen, I can't rank them all that high. Just because, again, MarShawn Lloyd hasn't taken a college snap. This is just projections. You know what I mean? This is just potential. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think we'll look back. I have a good feeling we're going to look back after the 2020 season and say that unit turned out to be much better because of how good MarShawn Lloyd was. Just speaking on, again, the questions and kind of the storylines with this 2020 running back group. And again, it all revolves around Lloyd. It all revolves about Lloyd and him taking over as the feature back in this offense. It all revolves around that. I do love the 1-2 punch, again, of MarShawn Lloyd and Kevin Harris. I think Kevin Harris is a really sneaky good player. You saw what he could do against Charleston Southern. Again, I know it was Charleston Southern, but a guy who's really tough. He's like a bowling ball back there. Guy can do it for you short yardage. Guy can do it at the goal line. Love him in that role. I'll be very interested in Desean Fenwick, and he finally makes some sort of impact. I mean, Fenwick's a guy that he's really only played in like 2 games in his career, and he played well in both. I mean, really, he played well in both. Just hasn't really gotten the reps. And then again, what can Quan White do? What type of role can he have? So I give the overall grade a C-. I think it could be much, much higher, obviously, after the season. But off of what we know right now, this is a running back group with a lot of questions. You lose a lot of production. I mean, listen, those guys had their issues. Rico Dowdle and Mon Denson, they had their issues, no question. I was very harsh on them. But that was experience. So you lack a lot of experience in the backfield this year. But again, to me, this group, no questions asked, it all revolves around MarShawn Lloyd. No, it all revolves around him. MarShawn Lloyd's got to be the guy for South Carolina because I talked about it before. This is a Gamecocks team that I feel is going to rely on the running game. I think Mike Bobo wants to run the football. No question in my mind, I think Mike Bobo wants to run the football. I think, I'm not letting myself buy into the hype that this is going to be a pass-first offense. I think it's going to be a 60-40 run offense, to be honest with you. And so to be like that, for South Carolina to have major success or to have success they're looking for, MarShawn Lloyd needs to be the dude, and you need to run the football with success. And again, highest-rated running back signee since Marcus Lattimore. It's a lot of pressure, for sure, but we're talking about a guy that was rated a 5-star recruit by some services. No lower than a 4, obviously. So, really excited. I'm very excited to see what MarShawn Lloyd can do. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, going into a season where it doesn't feel like there are a ton of positives and a ton of reasons to be optimistic about this Gamecocks football season, MarShawn Lloyd is the one thing that I am really clinging to as far as I can't wait to tune in and watch this guy run the football. I can't wait to see what all the hype is about. You know what I mean? I really can't wait to see him play. Because could he have that Marcus Lattimore impact? And again, it's unfair to put those type of expectations on him. It is. I'll go ahead because Marcus Lattimore had a great team around him. But MarShawn Lloyd, could he be that dude? I mean, who knows? Maybe he could be that guy for this Gamecock football program. So we'll see. So again, that is the running back units. Thursday, we'll talk about the wide receivers, but running backs, very excited. Very, very excited to see what the running backs do this year. All right, couple news and notes, and then we'll get into your listener questions. We'll start out Gamecocks making the top 5 for 2021 4-star wide receiver Malachi Bennett. Bennett, a highly regarded prospect, obviously a guy that South Carolina, you need to get. There's no question. You need to get if at all possible. Gamecocks continue to try to get some momentum, I guess, on the recruiting trail. Things have gotten a little bit better. You picked up some prospects, some commitments in the last week or so, week and a half. Malachi Bennett, I think he's not announcing till late August, but this would be a guy that would be a major, major, major pickup for South Carolina. Actually, today, another quick piece of news, and this is happening today. The SEC's ADs are meeting today to determine the future of football. I know we've all seen everything going on. What is going to happen? I've told you guys before, I'm moving along business as usual. Obviously, we're releasing these shows, these position previews. We did the opponent previews. I'm going to give my predictions. We're going to have a big prediction show, all that good stuff. I'm moving ahead as normal, but things could be far from normal this fall. There's no question. Again, the SEC ADs meeting to determine what this season is going to look like. There's the potential, people have talked about the No Carolina Clemson game. I know we've all seen and heard about that. So, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be something I think is ever changing, ever evolving. I think every day we're going to have new updates. I think we're going to find out a lot over the next few weeks. I think there's no question about that. The potential of a No Carolina Clemson game. I mean, listen, I've joked before that, oh, man, I'd love to not take that 28-point ass whooping. And there's a part of me that would. Honestly, there's a part of me that would rather just not play him. But to think of a college football season, to think of a South Carolina football season without playing Clemson just seems very strange. Just doesn't seem right, Just doesn't seem right. So I think the whole proposal is very silly because, in my opinion, if you can play all of your SEC games, what difference does it make? Why can you not play your out-of-conference games? I mean, if it's not safe enough to play a non-conference game, how is it safe enough to play a conference game? Like what? If you're going to have Missouri, you're going to have Missouri come down here to play South Carolina, but Clemson can't come to Columbia, or South Carolina can't go to Clemson to play. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that at all. So we'll see what happens. Again, it would be very strange for a football season to happen and have no Carolina Clemson game. I think it'd be weird. Final piece of news really quickly. USC opening is a 23-point favorite over Coastal Carolina. I know there's been some mixed reaction to this. People saying, will South Carolina cover? Will they not? I'll be interested to see how this line moves in the meantime, obviously. But I don't know. We'll see. Gamecocks open is a pretty big favorite. Coastal, obviously not the program they used to be. I think we all know that. But, pretty big spread. Pretty big spread overall, I have to say. So excited about that. All right. Let's get to your listener questions. Have a lot of good listener questions here. Very excited about these. Alec H. Dean _88. Where do you see Kevin Harris in the lineup? I feel like he should be utilized a good foot. Yeah, I think he'll be the backup. I think he'll be the second string. I think he'll be, like I said, a good short yardage guy, a good goal line guy. I mean, I think that's what he's built for, really. So I expect to see him in that role. I mean, again, he showed you last year as a true freshman. He's a tough runner. I mean, as a true freshman, think about him with another year in the weight room. I mean, he should be a beast back there. So I fully expect him to get his fair share of carries, especially in those short yardage situations. Rush 7. Biggest sleeper for a big year if they play both sides of the ball. Biggest sleepers on offense and defense. I think offense, Xavier Legette. I just think he's a guy nobody's really talking about. I think I've said that before this offseason. I think Xavier Legette is probably going to be my sleeper. And then on defense, that's a great question. Defensively, I think Damani Staley at linebacker could actually be a guy that really helps us. I really do. I don't know. I like the way Damani Staley plays the game. I think he could be a guy at linebacker that makes a bigger impact than people expect. Let's see. Christian Bowman 1_03. MarShawn Lloyd will be the next Lattimore. You see, it's I don't want to put those type of expectations on him, but again, when you're as highly regarded a prospect as he is, that's just what's going to happen. So I think it's a compliment more than anything, but I will say caution fans, like, he's a true freshman. He is a true freshman, but no doubt this has got to be probably the best. I mean, it is. It's the best running back prospect you've had since Marcus Lattimore. So who knows? Maybe he will be. Who knows? Sladen Jack. If the SEC does conference-only schedule, will we play 12 games? The answer is no, absolutely not. I think the most you'd play is 10. But no, there will not be a full 12-game schedule if you do a conference-only schedule. Absolutely not. Jordan Portillo 93. Assuming Lloyd is RB1, who is most likely to be the most effective running back after him? Again, I'd say Kevin Harris. I think Kevin Harris fits into that number 2 role well. Again, being a short yardage guy, being a goal line guy, even just being a change of pace guy. I mean, it doesn't have to be short yardage for Kevin Harris to get the football, but he's going to get you, I think, those tough 3-4 yards. So I think Kevin Harris will probably be the most utilized and the most effective guy behind MarShawn Lloyd. Let's jump over to Twitter. Terrence Harris says, do you think we will have a 1,000-yard rusher this season? I'm going to say no. It's the only guy that's going to have a chance to do so is Lloyd. I just don't think as a true freshman they're going to put that much of a workload on him. So I'm going to say no. I think a good season for Lloyd, if he finishes 700 yards, 700 or more, I think it's a fantastic year. I really do. I think it's a really good year for a true freshman. Jay Rochelle says, this is the closest to the 2010-13 running back group we've had. Excited to see them play. Yeah, it's a fair comparison. I would say that's pretty fair. Michael Cavalier, I believe as long as Muschamp lets Bobo do his job and gets out of his way, our offense can and will average 31 points per game. We have the running backs to do this, mixing in with tight ends and wide receivers we got also. Hey, from your lips to God's ears, man, I hope you're right. Was reading up on something today, Saturday Down South. Our buddies over there put out an article power ranking the top the offenses in the SEC going in the 2020 season. They had the Gamecocks ranked 13th out of 14 teams. And their reasoning, a Muschamp team has never finished with a top 50 offense. And Mike Bobo's last two offenses at Colorado State didn't finish in the top 70. So I hope those of you that think Bobo is the answer, is the godsend for Will Muschamp, I truly hope you guys are right. I truly do. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope you guys are right. But it's just a little hard for me to believe. I'm not going to lie. It's a little hard for me to believe that that's going to be the answer. So, again, appreciate you guys' questions. Appreciate the questions as always. And like I said, Thursday, we will break down the Gamecocks wide receiver. These are always fun. These position unit previews are so much fun. I love going back over this and breaking down these units. It gets me fired up. I'm fired up. I'm fired up for football that's going to happen. I'm speaking into existence. It's going to happen. We're going to have a normal season. Everything's going to be all right. I'm speaking that shit into existence. All right, cool. Got a fantastic interview, guys. Marco Washington, better known as Marco 808s. If you guys are like, who is that? The Sandstorm remix that is played over the speakers at Williams-Brice is played really at all Gamecocks events at this point. He is the man behind it, the myth, the legend, the dude, one of my homies, Marco 808s. Very, very excited. This interview, guys, brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Again, go download the SeatGeek app, go to SeatGeek.com, use the promo code SPURSUP. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Again, guys, sports are going to come back. Fans are going to be back in the seats. Concerts will return. Life will get back to normal at some point. And when you need your tickets, SeatGeek is the way to go. And again, why wouldn't you use the promo code and save yourself $20? Not only are you going to get a great deal from SeatGeek, which is a great thing, you're going to get the most bang for your buck from them, but then you're going to save $20. And I mean, again, guys, you can't beat that. I'm literally putting money in your pocket. Putting money in your pocket. So again, that's SeatGeek. Go download the app or go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP, SPRSUP, to save $20 off your first purchase. Enjoy this interview with Marco Washington, a.k.a. Marco 808s. All right, cool. You want to start this thing off properly?
For sure. Let's do it.
With that crack, my boy, Marco Washington, a.k.a. Marco 808s, a.k.a. the creator of the Sandstorm remix, which if you're a Gamecock fan, I don't have to introduce, explain, talk about what that is. If you tune into this, but Marco, man, appreciate it. It's a pleasure to have you in the stew. Finally, long time coming.
It's a pleasure being here, bro. Yeah. Like I wanted to come here for so long.
Like I said, it's been a long time coming for sure, dude. So let's jump right into it. Again, I think this is really interesting because a lot of Gamecock fans, again, everybody knows the Sandstorm remix. Not everybody knows you, but let's go behind that. Just talk about, you don't have to go super deep detail. You can go as much detail as you want, but just a little bit about you, how you got, I guess, intertwined with Carolina, became a Carolina fan, got into music. Just like, not too broad, but just like the little bit of info about yourself, what people need to know about you.
Got you. So I was born here in Columbia, and then when I went to Irmo High School, I was like, I got to get out of here. I need to go somewhere else. So I went to Coastal. And when I got to Coastal Carolina University, I started going to concerts, festivals, and I fell in love with music to a point where I wanted to start making it.
Right.
So I started making music back then, and I was.
Were you starting out making it like rapping or like DJing? Or a mix?
I rapped in high school.
The Lost Files.
And it's bad. It's really bad. Dude, I made a song on the SpongeBob.
The classic SpongeBob track.
Yeah.
That went like viral. Yeah.
So I did do that. But when I got to school and I got my own laptop, I was like, let me get FL Studio. I started like making beats, making like EDM and it's stuff like that. And I was just like, bro, I'm kind of good at this. So like, why not take it to the next level? And the way the Sandstorm remix came about was I was home for maybe Thanksgiving break my junior year. And I was like, yo, this needs to be updated because like it's so like, just stagnant and like no one and people get hyped to it, but it could be better.
Right.
So what I did was I went on to Google and I searched the exact VST virtual instrument that Darude used to make the sound. Yeah. So I bought that, and then I found a MIDI file, which is actually like the notes to it. So I actually recreated the entire song.
Right.
So and then when I started making it, I was going, and I said to myself, for the first 4 beats of the drop, I'm going to have it go normal. And then I'm going to switch it to the trap part because you got to get the people to think that it's the normal Sandstorm. Right. And then out of nowhere, you just get boom, like that big 808 just hits.
Yeah.
So like the first person to hear it was my mom because like I was staying with her at the time. And I showed my mom. She's like, Marcus, that's going to make some noise. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I tagged some people in it, and like 2 days later, maybe not even 2 days, my inbox on Twitter was full. Like, we need this. And then Justin King hit me up, and it was for an away game 2 years ago. I think it was Vandy, and he said, "Yo, can we use your Sandstorm remix for for one of our videos?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, I don't care."
And then the shit popped off instantly.
Exactly. I mean, as soon as people heard that, they're like, "Yo, we need this in the stadium, like right now." Right. And next thing you know, every single game, every single touchdown, you hear it.
Right. And so the inspiration for you to make it came from, I mean, you obviously came up a Carolina fan.
Big fact.
So I mean, so being a Carolina fan and also loving EDM, that was like the perfect mix.
Yeah, because like my mom went to USC. My mom is a graduate from there, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something kind of for her. And like I love USC. I've always been a USC fan, and I go to all the games, baseball, basketball, football, all that stuff. So I mean, like, dude, like just having the effect to like change the mood of the crowd, it's such a feeling. It's a crazy feeling, bro.
I want to get more into that, but I want to talk to you about something that you've touched on a lot, I feel like, on social media, and that is like, I guess, the way people view guys that do EDM, especially African-American guys that do EDM.
Okay.
Just talk about, because I know that's something, I see you talking about a lot on social media, and I don't think many people, the only thing I could think of that maybe would be like close to the perception of understanding that is like white rappers, or how they were felt for a while.
That's kind of how it is.
Almost there's like a negative stigma just off the jump for no reason.
That's exactly how it is. Like what I've heard so many times, I'll send a song to a label and they'll be like, "Yo, why not just make this into a full rap beat?" I'm like, that's not what I'm going for. I'm making EDM. I want to drop. I want people to go crazy at my shows when I DJ it and play it. When I play at the Senate, not a plug, because they blacklisted me.
Oh, we have to talk about that. I mean, keep going.
But yeah, like, dude, like, yeah, being a black man making dance music, and like, it's hard because like I make trap, and trap comes from hip hop.
Right.
So like, why can't people get into that? Like, like what? It just makes me mad.
Is it? Do you think it's just people just expect? Like, I just don't like. How did that become like a white dude thing? Like EDM, you know what I mean? Like
all producers.
I guess is there a big producer that's not a white dude? Like, as for like the EDM guys.
The biggest one that's not white. If we're talking trap stuff, his name is Say My Name, and he's played my stuff out.
Right.
That's in America, but overseas, there's this guy named Afrojack who's
black.
Yeah,
okay.
He's black, but he's like from Germany or something.
Gotcha.
He's the biggest like African American over there. But still, like, there's like a handful, literally, of African American people that make EDM. Like, Right. Because everyone's focused on rap, focused on hip hop. I'm like, no, I want my stuff to make people go crazy.
Right.
So
for sure. Well, again, okay. So again, obviously, I think it's so funny. Again, the Sandstorm remix, everybody knows what it is, but not many people. And I feel like your story with that is very much how EDM is in the sense that like you could ask me, like I had no clue what he looks like, you know what I'm saying? Or like not much about him. And I think in the same scenario, we were talking about a little bit earlier, it's like no offense to you, but not many people know who's even behind it. Like no people don't even know where to download it, where to find it. Like they feel like the Sandstorm remix is like this foreign, like it's almost like this crazy secret. You know what I mean?
I was out at freaking Saloon last night and I was talking to this guy and this girl and I said, yo, you guys like USC? They said, yeah. And they said, and I asked them, do you like the Sandstorm remix? Like, yeah, we love it. And I was like, and then I said, I made it. They're like,
just shameless plug. Just shameless plug.
Always shameless
the humble
plug.
Brag.
Plug it in.
The humble brag.
And they're like, you made that? And I was like, yeah. Do you want to see my SoundCloud? So I showed it to him, and the girl was like,
couldn't
really
believe
did.
that like it was even there.
Exactly, dude. Like, why is the stigma so like?
Right.
I'm black. I can make any type of music that I want. Like,
well, I think a lot of people too, like for whatever reason, no offense, again, give USC just too much credit to think they made it. I think is the first thing that happens.
True.
But on a lighter note, I want to ask you about, because again, you got to go to a game, which we'll get into this into a second.
Yeah.
Get into this in a second. But USC finally came around, gave you some tickets to actually go. And I'm sure I don't know, maybe you'd go on before that, but to go to a game, like to be in Williams-Brice Stadium and hear your mix drop, that has to be dope as fuck. That has to be such a cool feeling.
That feeling, I cried. I have like videos of it, like, dude,
literally your mix, like it's just insane,
bro. Like I've not felt a feeling like that ever in my entire life.
Right.
Like seeing 80,000 people just like jumping up and going crazy to something that I made in my bedroom.
Right.
Like, dude, like that whole feeling, I'm just like, whew, like that's it's crazy, brother.
Now let's talk about, again, we've talked about this a lot off the air, just personally, but USC obviously gave you tickets to go to a game for it, and I think the only reason they did that is because the social media, not backlash, but like a lot of people were raising commotion. You know, we know how Twitter works, right? I mean, literally Tennessee got a coach unhired because they were so pissed on Twitter. Like, we get how Twitter works, but again, a lot of people tuning in, they have no clue, no context behind the Sandstorm remix. Again, you're the person that created it. All right, so let's actually go backtrack. Talk about how USC, like, so you said that Justin King contacted you, wanted to use it for a video.
For sure.
Did they contact you again about putting it in, like, using it for in the stadium, or like, what was that communication like?
Yes. So Justin said, can we use this for our promo videos for like when we go to away games? I said, yeah, I bet. Go ahead. You got it. And then the next thing, like after that caught on, he was like, hey, the fans are really liking this, man. Can we play this at games? And I was like, of course, yeah.
I bet you're sitting there like, are you serious? Like, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say no.
What do you mean?
Like, no, you're not going to play my. I said, like, come on, dude. Like, no. Right. And like they start playing it and stuff, and like, dude. And Justin did come through. He did give me the tickets and like.
When was that? What was the Florida game? Was it last year?
Florida, yeah, last year.
Last season. That's rain game, right?
The rain game, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm sitting here and
freezing cold, probably in the rain. Like, wow, thanks.
Thanks, Justin. I don't know.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all in good fun. Now, the thing, I guess my point was just like, I mean, personally, I know it seems maybe an extreme the other way, but like, I think you should have season tickets for life. I mean, you should have season tickets every game they play the remix.
Everybody
how much it's enhancing the game day experience.
The atmosphere, it changes the whole thing.
It does.
Have you ever
and it's noticeable. It's not debatable. It's noticeable.
Exactly. Everyone's like hits me up and says they should have gave you more. They gave me 2 shirts and a ticket.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I could have gave you 2 shirts and a ticket.
Exactly, bro. Like that comes out to like a cost of $250.
Right.
For what I did to change the entire game day atmosphere, and then they put it on TikTok with the video of Ryan
right
running out. And I'm like, you're not going to credit me at all with this. Like, I made this. Like, what?
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is like, again, not knowing who the mastermind is behind it.
And I want a lot of people to know that I was.
I mean, everybody wants credit for their work. I mean, everybody wants to,
exactly.
It's just like social media, like with the Spurs Up show. Like, there's a lot of things that I repost. That's a lot of what social media is.
Exactly.
Reposting, reusing things, but you always credit people. I mean, you always plug them, kind of like image via, video via,
they
whatever.
Have never plugged me once, bro. Like, if I was at a show, be like, no. If I was at a game, be like, and sitting in row, the guy that made the Sandstorm remix, and everyone would like,
yeah, because it's like everybody knows what that is.
Exactly. Even people from out of town know what it is, because it has over 54,000 plays on SoundCloud.
Right,
it's gotten around, bro. People know what it is, and like, I get no credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody will hear from from something else, but like, I just, I want you to get the credit you deserve. I know we've talked about this a little bit moving on. Have you ever considered making like trap remixes of like the fight song, the like other schools, man? I like fight song type of stuff. You know what I mean?
The thing that's in my head right now, the Seminole, dude,
could do it.
Put a trap beat under that.
Right.
That would slap. Like, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm not touching Clemson because fuck them. But,
exactly.
But like, dude, like, I can make a whole folder of just like different people, like different schools of fight songs that I can just flip.
Right. So all right? We got to hear the Senate story. I know you played there. What's the deal? Can you talk about the Senate story? Like any major detail?
I played too hard. I played too loud.
Bro, it's 2020.
And I am also the co-headliner of the Senate too. So I was the second person before the headliner.
Right.
And they said I played too loud. So I'm blacklisted from playing at
What
the
does
Senate.
that mean? What is this, like 1960 and you're a rock band?
Exactly. Bro, like, yeah. Because the promoter pulled me off and said, "Yeah, you played too loud," and but the crowd was I can show you the videos. The crowd was going the whole entire time, so I can't play at the Senate anymore. My last show was in Charlotte. The picture that I showed you,
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Like my last show was in Charlotte, so that's pretty much where I'm going to play from now on.
Right.
And I played a festival in Myrtle Beach maybe 2 years ago, but I'm not playing in Columbia anymore.
Right.
This is like a different place.
For sure.
I like the Senate. It's a good setup, but like, bro, if you're sound guy and everything can't handle my stuff, then
that seems a little crazy. That seems wild.
They straight up 86 me. They blacklisted me like for no reason. And like my boy that threw that show, he had another one, and he said the only way you can play is if you play the silent disco.
Right,
which is where the people have
headphones and shit. Because they can just like control the volume.
Exactly. I'm not doing that. Like, what the no, dude. Like, bro. Like, first of all,
but this is so off. That reminds me of like the Lil Dicky episode where he's playing
the
silent disco.
I'm like, bro. First of all, you don't produce. You just you play other people's songs.
Right. You
play my songs in your set. But you want me to go play silent disco? No, bro. Like, what is that? Like, just because the Senate, the guy running, like the sound guy, he can turn me down a little bit. Like, if I'm too loud, turn it down. Like, I don't know. It sucks. But
how much different is it for you listening to music versus like the common person? Because I mean, I've listened to music with you before. And the things you notice versus what like I notice are different.
So, okay, what genre are we talking?
I mean, hip hop. I mean, that's like what I like listening to. Hip hop, rap, whatever. But like you hear a lot of things, like I said, with the beat, with the instrumental, like that a lot of people just don't hear.
When I'm listening to a rap song, first thing I hear is the beat. Is the snare right? Is it EQ'd right? Is the hi-hats right? Is it hitting at the right time? Is the beat mastered? Is like the rapper's voice? Is the echo on the voice the the words are escaping my mind. The reverb is the reverb too much. Like Travis Scott, when he does his little auto-tune reverb and you hear his voice it goes off, it's too much. I don't like that. Right. It has to be clean, concise.
Yeah, let Travis Scott know.
Yeah, Trav, coming for you, bro.
Let Travis producer know.
Oh my God. But like, dude, like with me, I've been producing. Okay, so here's how my producing story started. Senior year of high school, I graduated in 2014. They gave us school iPads.
Right.
So I jailbroke it and put GarageBand on there, and I started making beats on there. They took my iPad, got another one, did the same thing. But then I graduated, went off to school, and I was just like, I'm gonna start making beats. And like, dude, like, you have to make it perfect. Like, mastering takes so long. It's a hard process, but mastering, making sure all your levels are right, making sure nothing's bleeding through. Because if you hear a song on the radio and your ears start like to ring or hurt, the song wasn't mastered right. Like, there's so much that goes into it, bro. And like, when it comes down to music and like I'm critiquing somebody, if you play a song for a minute 15 seconds, I can tell anything in it. Like, if it's not mastered, if it wasn't mixed right, or the rapper's too loud, like that's just the producer and me coming out.
Is it like, because I think it's interesting, like when you hear an underground guy versus like if I hear like a Ty Dolla $ign song, like is it just the producing why it sounds so much better? Like, it just sounds so much crisper. You know what I mean?
Let's put it this way: Young Pinch versus Ty Dolla $ign.
Right.
Ty Dolla $ign has that industry sound because he's signed to like a big boy industry
label.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, he's on the label. Right.
Pinch is doing his stuff by himself.
Right.
He's scrounging.
So he's got like his own engineer. He's got his own producer.
Which is why some songs he played on the radio and some don't, because they have to have that certain frequency.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Right. How many versions were there of the Sandstorm remix, or was it just that was it like as simple as like boom, made it done?
It was a straight go.
Really?
And then
one take done.
Yeah, one take done.
Wow.
Because so here's what I did. I recreated the whole song, and the first 4 beats, it has the drums, boom, boom, dun, 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 and then I added the doom, 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 and on that last hit on count 4, that's when I bring the 808 and the boom,
right.
You know, Marco 808s. I gotta have that sub bass. Gotta have that sub bass. So like, I maybe took 2 or 3 takes, and then I mastered it, and then I just put it on Twitter. And the first tweet I said, USC would like this, and it blew up.
Yeah. How many views did that tweet get? I remember when I saw it, it was like 20,000, I think.
Yeah, bro. I think it's up to like maybe 50 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I specifically remember that. I mean, that shit popped off quick.
It did.
Quick.
That was a good idea.
Everybody loved it. Like, everybody.
But then the thing about it that makes me mad about it, like, people know me for that, but my music has spread so much more. I had a girl in Germany drop one of my songs on a live stream at a club in Germany last week. I've had this DJ named Say My Name play my songs at festivals in California, in Utah. I've had my songs played in, I said Germany already. I've had it played in like Slovenia, like in all those clubs there. People don't know that because people here don't care about dance music.
Right. I mean, we're in a weird part of the country for it.
Exactly.
There's no question.
It's like it's rock, country, or nothing.
Right.
So like, if I was in LA, bro, I'll be so much bigger than what I am right now.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what's the key to popping off as like a producer or like a DJ or whatever? You know, is it? You know, I mean, listen, in any success story, there's a right place, right time, a little bit of luck. You got to have a lot of hard work, a lot of fucking hard work, talent for sure. But like, as far as like putting yourself in that position as like a producer, like what's the, and there's no one way, but I mean, what's like in your mind, I guess, the way to pop off?
First thing, you have to learn music theory. When I was in college, I took classes on music theory, I took classes on jazz history, and I took classes on American music history. So I know the backbone of everything.
Right. So
I know what hit at certain times and why some artists went and why some artists came back. You know, like some are good, some are bad. So I'm trying to learn from all of that. And then you have to, you know, find an audience, find your sound. That's the biggest part.
Right.
Find your sound.
Your style, basically, right?
Exactly, because there's 1,500,000 other guys out there doing the same thing, trying to be a bedroom producer, but you have to find your sound. And I'm still struggling with that myself, trying to find my sound.
Right.
But I'd rather find my sound than be some copycat guy that just gets put into a slot for a show, and then they play the same set that the guy after them plays.
I mean, an original is going to get further than a copy every time.
100%.
I mean, no
I
doubt.
have some friends in Charlotte. I wanted to name drop so bad just now. I did.
Do what you want, man.
No,
Do what you want.
Nah, bro.
I hold no judgment.
Alex, I love you, but he's following other people's path. Like,
right.
A year ago, he was making his own shit, but then after that, he's just following the wave. And in EDM, there's something called I can't even talk. God damn it. A sustain note.
Right.
So it goes from count 1 to count 4,
right.
like wop, and then you put some stuff under it, like bop 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 under it with like, snares and stuff going under it. That's the wave in EDM right now, and I'll show you later. And he's doing that. I'm like, bro, make your own stuff. You're making hard trap earlier. Why stop? There was only Say My Name that was making it. Why would you confirm over to doing this other stuff just because it's hot? Bro, you can literally make your own style hot just by pushing it and getting people to listen to it. You don't have to conform to what other people do.
Where, again, you don't want to be a copy, but where do you think EDM's going as far – because music is ever changing. I mean, it's crazy. I just sit and think, like, how much different – because 10 years ago I was in college, right? Yeah. 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. How much different the music was, like, I mean – compared to now, like we were listening, like what? Didn't you? Like, dude, like shit like that. Like the music felt so like. What I don't know if raw is the right word or like. It's just different. It's so much different now. Like so, music's ever changing. That's my point. Music's always evolving. Sound is like style. Everything continues to evolve and change. But like, where is EDM going? You think? Like, what's the next like 10 years from now? Like, what's the evolution like?
For one, house music is never going because house is what people in posh clubs play when they're drinking their high class liquor. House is fine. Progressive house is what like Martin Garrix plays at Ultra. That's going nowhere. Dubstep is going nowhere. Mm-hmm. That's what like the guys like Zomboy and the harder stuff that's going nowhere because people love it. But there's subgenres of all that stuff. Trap is hard because a lot of white people like EDM, but they don't understand trap because they don't understand hip hop.
Right.
So like they don't understand the drum patterns, the hi-hats. They're like, what's that? They're like ticking noise.
Right.
It's a hi-hat. It's going with the beat. Listen to it. So like some brands, some genres will keep going, but on the other hand, some might die off. Like I've seen something called reverse bass, which is like kind of a heart dance type thing, and it's like at 160 BPM. It was dope for one summer. Now it's gone.
For sure. I mean, you know me, man. I'm not a like a big. I believe in having long-term goals and stuff, but I'm not like a rigid 5-year plan guy. Like I'm a very much go with the flow. Just be able to go with the ebbs and flows of life. You know what I mean? I've seen how much shit can change from a year,
Definitely.
like just in a year.
Definitely.
But I'll ask you, like, what's your, as far as moving forward, like, where's your head at? Like, what are your goals at for? Like, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with like, because obviously again, everybody loves what you did for USC, the Sandstorm remix. I don't think that's over. I think there'll be more stuff to come as far as we talked about the fight song remake. There's a lot you can do with that, but like, I know you want to grow outside of that. Like, what's the goals from Marco 808s as far as like the producer, the DJ, whatever? Like, what's the goals there?
Well, Marco 808s is my Twitter name, but my personal music account is Most Wanted. Right. So, Most Wanted MW Marcus Washington.
Right.
Got it? Okay. But the thing is, bro, Charlotte is full of people. Can't go to Charlotte.
Right.
I want to head out west to like Seattle because they have a scene there of EDM people.
Right.
And I just got a good new job. So I've been working there for 3 months now, working for a nursing home. So I like it. I love it. And they have places in Seattle and in Portland. I want to go out there and branch my music out because here nobody cares about EDM. Not at all. They don't care. I'll play it in my car and people will be like, yo, turn this off. But if I'm out there, they're like, yo, turn this up. I like it. Like, so like that's where I'm going. The fight song thing, I'm definitely going to do that as well because that's
it's almost like more like fun. I feel like a like a fun part of the gig, basically.
Exactly. And honestly, I don't even consider myself a DJ anymore. DJing's fun. I like having the crowd in the palm of my hands.
Right.
But what I like better is producing because I love the grind. I love sitting at my computer for. I don't know. I can pull an all-nighter, bro, and then go to work the next day and making a song. I love it because there's so much you got to put into it, like the equalizers, the putting something in isotope and mastering it. Like there's so much stuff you can do to make a song sound good, and that's what I like. And I love writing music too, making my own sounds. Like I made the Sandstorm sound from scratch, using the same synthesizer, but I made it from scratch.
Right.
So like that's what I like to do.
Right. Does it ever get old hearing seeing all the videos like with the drop and everything?
It makes me happy, brother. I love it. It makes me happy as hell.
That's why I'm saying I'm glad we have had you on because people need to know. They need to know who the guy behind it is. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
And then again, we weren't trying to bash USC earlier or anything because but it just needs to be said. Just things that need to be said. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Because
attention needs to be brought to it.
It does. Like
it's not that you're not grateful for like the little recognition you got.
Exactly.
But I mean, at the same time, bro, like, and again, you were a young cat. You weren't like savvy with it, probably like as far as like
business.
You're right. Yeah. Business wise, legalities wise, like what you could have done. But like, they
dropped the ball a little bit.
I don't want to say took advantage. That's the wrong way to put it. But they came out of it pretty good. They came out of it pretty damn good.
They came out of it with two shirts, a signed Will Muschamp football, which you just stamped on, and then that was it, and 2 cards.
So I mean, they came out of it pretty well. I'll say that. But anyways, that's why I wanted to have you on to make sure everybody knew exactly who the guy was. So there's a lot going on, dude. I want to talk to you about some other stuff too. Let's talk. I mean, you're a Carolina guy. Let's talk Gamecocks.
Let's get it.
I've been very optimistic about that the season's going to happen. So I'm going to talk to you as if the season's going to happen. We'll talk about we can talk about the COVID stuff too. I mean, COVID, whatever. Yeah. All this, the societal issues. I mean, we know the world's in a crazy ass place. But
dude, I work at a nursing home, so
you see it.
I see it.
See it
every single day.
But I'll ask you first, Gamecocks wise. Again, just with the assumption everything's straight. Like, what's your take the glass. What's your take on the Gamecocks coming into the 2020 season? Again, you're a fan. Like I'm very, I'm always curious to hear like just where the fan.
Are we getting a full season?
Let's just say we are. Let's just say for the sake of the argument, nothing's official. Let's say we are.
I love you, brother. You have to get 6 wins.
Right.
If you don't get 6, you're donezo. You're out.
Right.
Bobo, I watched some of your clips. I like your offense. Yeah, we're going to be under center more. I like that because we got freaking Lloyd back there who's a downhill runner. Right. I like that, but I would love to get him in space. I think we should definitely use Joyner a lot freaking more. We can even have a Wildcat package where it's not too much of a Wildcat, like how Kentucky did it with Homeboy.
It's more just like a change of pace type instead of a Wildcat.
Exactly.
Right. With Lynn Bowden. Yeah.
Like
I was looking at his stats earlier too, just for fun. Dude, he ran for I think 1,700 yards and 13 touchdowns.
That's crazy. Bro, yeah, I think
he didn't even play quarterback the whole year.
I think he runs like a 4.2 40. Like
he's a beast. He's an absolute beast.
But so is Dak. Dak is too, bro. Former Mr. Football. Like give him the chance he deserves.
Right.
I mean, it might not work your quarterback, but shoot, you can have Helinski, Colin Hill, Luke Doty. You can have them at quarterback. and then have 2 running backs, Lloyd and Joyner.
Right.
And you know how many plays you can run
Right.
out of that, bro? You can flip it out to Joyner.
You can direct snap it to him.
Exactly.
I mean, you really want to.
Nobody in the SEC is doing that, bro. Right. Muschamp has to think in his head, you have all these athletes that play different positions, bro. Take advantage of it, dog. Like, why not?
Right. No, I mean, I think we're on the same boat. Most people, I think, too, again, assumptions, we have a full season. You got to at least make a bowl game. Year 5, dude, like it's – and I'll tell you this, actually. Let's say it's an 8-game season, conference only.
Okay.
If South Carolina goes 2-6, does he come back? Because that's possible. I mean, Vandy and who's the win? Kentucky? I mean, and I'm not like
Kentucky's the
because if it's not Kentucky, it's got to be Tennessee.
But the thing is, you can't.
It's got to be A&M.
You can't. Heck no.
I honestly, bro, I'll tell you this. I think removing the non-conference would be the worst thing that could happen for Muschamp because 100%. At least if you have the non-con,
Coastal's a win,
right? ECU should be a win. Wofford's a win.
Should.
No, I agree. No, trust me. I've caught a ton of heat for saying how tough that game was.
Yeah.
But, no, I just think that removing the non-con would be like the worst fucking thing for Muschamp because at least if you have 3 non-conference wins, it can disguise almost how bad you did in conference. But if you don't, there's no hiding.
It's not an almost. It is an
right. There's no hiding because, like I said, if you go 5-7. And you go 3-1 in non-con, like 2-6 is a lot worse than 5-7.
But the thing is, you can't fire him in a pandemic like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. A lot of people.
I will take 1 more year,
right?
Only if Luke Doty is quarterback. Because Ryan, you owe me $50 for that song I made you.
Now it comes out. Now the truth comes out. No, I don't know. It's, again, we're going to find out a lot this week, obviously, from the ADs and stuff meeting what the season will look like.
I wish I had NCAA 14 and I could control MarShawn Lloyd to be the best running back ever. I love his stats.
I told you, if South Carolina wins, if they make a bowl game, he is a household name. No doubt.
He should be right now.
No
to be
doubt.
honest with you. He should be.
I mean, dude, he was ranked by one service. I forget who it was. They ranked their top running backs returning in college football in 2020, and he made the top 30. He's never taken a college snap.
There you go, right there.
That's insane.
When
you really think about it, that's insane.
If you look at him, he looks insane. His traps come up here.
Yeah, I know. He looks like he's wearing pads without them.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
And then he's just cutting backflips all over the place, bro. Like, that's the most athletic guy I've seen in the world, dude.
Yeah, for sure. So I do want to talk to you about that. There's so much going on in the world, bro. I feel like it'd be kind of – I don't know. Just wouldn't be right if we didn't at least just mention it, whatever. The whole pandemic stuff, obviously. You work in a nursing home. We'll talk about that first. I mean, I know you were on the news rocking the mask.
Yes, sir.
We're both good, so we don't have masks on the stew, obviously, but I've been rocking the mask. Everybody, I mean, hell, it's mandated. You have to. You don't have a choice. Exactly. You have to rock the mask. I guess, dude, working in a nursing home, just like what you've seen as far as like the effects of COVID and like, do you know anybody? I mean, I've already went publicly and talked about my own people my family, like, and they've all recovered. Thank God. But like, what have you seen?
I got a full story. So it's Wednesday, and my lunch is at 12. So
last Wednesday, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm getting ready to go to lunch. So I'm walking out. I see Lexington County Medical pull in.
Right.
I was like, okay, let me stay and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then West Columbia PD pulls in, and then both the fire departments pull in and the police chiefs. They come in.
Right.
One of our residents was unresponsive. She couldn't breathe. Her throat was closed. They had a resuscitator and everything. She was fine that morning. She's on my list of people to go see. I went and saw her this morning. We had a conversation. She's 83. We had a conversation. And then 2 hours later, COVID was either dormant or it hit her. Right then. They had to take her out, resuscitate her, and had to take her to the hospital. I don't know how she is now.
Right.
Literally, with COVID, working in a nursing home, somebody can be fine one day, and then five minutes later, there could be ringing their call light for a nurse to come try to resuscitate her.
Right.
Like,
how old would you say she was?
83.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sumbitch for like,
Yeah.
especially the older age group. No question. But it can be for everybody else. I mean, I know a guy that played college football at Newberry that's like a bodybuilder now that got it, and he got hospitalized.
But the thing about it,
best, most in shape dude you'd ever see.
The thing about it, it makes me mad. They're trying to make kids go to school,
right?
And you know these badass kids,
dude. College kids do. Everybody,
yeah, bro. Kids will be coughing on people to make them mad,
right?
Like,
dude, there are literally parties, COVID parties.
They will have a
bro. Weren't you the one that texted me about you knew somebody had COVID and went to 5? Oh, no, it wasn't you. I meant to tell you this. It was somebody else that I know that is a grad student in Carolina that told me that they knew someone that knew someone who tested positive for COVID Wednesday and went to 5 Points that weekend. I'm like, come on, bro. You're an asshole. Like, you're a jackass.
That's more than an asshole. You're inside.
You should be getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like, bro, like, the thing about it with me working at a nursing home, wherever I go, I have to think about the people that I interact with.
Because you could be fine.
Yeah.
But
I'm still interacting with people from the ages of 65 and up.
Right.
So they can get it easily. Like, I have to think about what I'm doing so I can protect them.
Right.
Even though I just work in the business office, they still come in and ask for money, ask how their claims going, and I have to talk to them. But, like, I can't go out and just, like, get the virus and then affect somebody, and next thing you know, they're out on in an ambulance going to Lexington Medical. I can't do it, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, I'll tell you this because, you were asking about the season and stuff like that, and I think it's a situation where, and I've been optimistic throughout the entire process. I'd rather be overly optimistic than be miserable or like just be doom and gloom, if you will. But
100%.
It feels like now that we're delaying the inevitable as far as the season. It does. I'm not very. I'll be honest with you. Like, in my heart of hearts, I'm not extremely optimistic that I think NFL will get played. Because those are paid individuals that, hey, it'll be the same thing as NFL, or it'll be the same thing as MLB and NBA, where, hey, you want to opt out, completely up to you. That's totally fine. But we're going to play.
Hear me out.
But college, there's so much liability.
Hear me out. I work in medical insurance. They have the insurance to cover them just in case they get sick. Colleges don't.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So, like, the ACC playing 10 games. Big 10, 10 games. Pac-12, they're looking towards 10 games. Conference. That might be the route to go, bro.
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, you're still leaving your school and going somewhere else, but, like, the climate's the same.
Right.
Like, I think that might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And Clemson, Carolina might be canceled for a year. We need it, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I talked about that on the this show. I mean, I do joke and say that I'd love to not take that 28-point ass whooping because it'll probably be ugly, but it would be weird to have a football season without Carolina Clemson. It'd be weird. It'd be very strange.
Which means the next year when Luke Doty is starting and we tear that butt up because we got our Connor Shaw back, there we go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I just think that all the signs
or that quarterback that's coming up from
I forget his name.
Homeboy with the swag.
Got the flow, right?
Yeah. I like him.
I forget it. Yeah, he's a talented kid too.
I can say someone that we need to watch out for. That white running back from Clemson. That's
Shipley, right?
Bro,
Will Shipley?
Bro, yes.
He's nasty.
Hey,
5-star kid, right?
5-star. Yeah. He's as soon as ETN leaves,
he's the dude.
He's right there. Yeah. He's good.
I just feel like all signs are pointing towards no, and like we're just holding out hope for you. As far as like the sports leagues are concerned, I don't know. It's like I said, bro. That's why I try to stay optimistic because it's like exhausting to think about. It really is.
What they should do is have just the teams in the state play each other.
Right.
Yeah, Carolina.
Well, then why cancel the Coastal game? Like, how much – and Wofford, how much sense does that make? Like, my biggest thing is just, like, if it's not safe to play a non-conference game, how is it safe to play a conference? Like, what's the difference? I mean,
there is no difference.
So, and that's, again, I haven't talked about the pandemic a lot on social media, bro, because I'm not a doctor. I don't feel like arguing about it with people. I'm a sports guy. Like, I don't, but I mean, I do have opinions about shit. And it's just, I mean, it's not the huge, I think the thing I hate the most is the in the middle thing.
Yep.
Either shut it all. I'd rather go back to how we were in the beginning of the pandemic where everything was shut down than what we're doing right now. Exactly. Being this half in, half out, like, bro, either shut it all down or, and it's not the humane answer, and it's going to sound bad, open it all up and say, you know what, what's going to happen is going to happen.
They can open it all up.
Or open it all up and just require everybody to wear masks. And the people that are like psychos on social media who like go off without the mask, they're just
insane.
That,
bro.
Those people are insane.
Bro,
you're mentally ill to do
this. Is my law that I do not have to wear.
Insane,
it's not that hard to wear a mask.
It's not that big of a deal.
I have to wear one for 8 hours a day at work.
Yeah.
But you're going into freaking Bilo and you can't wear it for 20 minutes?
I was down in Charleston, and I mean, you have to wear it. It didn't even bother me. It's just like whatever. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, hell, I'll tell you too. Like, I mean, when you go out to eat somewhere, for example, like you can pretty much take it off when you're eating. Like, it's not even like you have to wear it that long. Like,
exactly, bro. You don't have to wear it.
Yeah, people act like you're putting like a muzzle on you. Like,
you're not taking my rights, bro. Yeah. We don't have to serve you. Get out.
Exactly. I want to shift off the COVID stuff, but I want to ask you about just everything else that's going on. Obviously, I want to get your perspective. You as an African-American male, all the shit in the country going on, starting with the George Floyd stuff. And I mean, it would have been going on long before that. I feel like it's almost ingrained in the history of the country. You know what I mean? But the George Floyd just, brought it all to light. And, I mean, obviously, again, I know you haven't. I haven't met anyone that didn't think that was just horrific and it was awful. So. But with everything going, like, what's your, like, your headspace? Like, where are you at? Like, what's your overall thoughts on everything?
As a black man growing up in the South who tends to date the other race, I've gone to females' house to have dinner, and the dad didn't know that I was African American. So I'm sitting at the dinner table. He comes in, takes the wife to the back room, and I hear, "Why is that in my house?"
Right.
I'm like, "Did you not tell your dad that I was black?" And she said, "No, I didn't think he was." So I'm like, I've been dealing with racism for forever. Right. And
you know what's bad? A lot of people will say they're not racist, but they have a problem like interracial dating. It's like
what's wrong with it? Like,
I'm just saying, like, I think it's just funny. Like, a lot of people will try to like justify they're not racist, but they're bothered by interracial dating. It's like, that is racist. Like,
it is.
Yeah, it is.
And then like seeing all this stuff happening, bro, like that could have been me.
Right.
I could have been on the ground with someone's knee on my neck killing me.
Right.
And like, they've been treating black people wrong for so long. And like, okay, people say that I act white. I'm sorry that I'm proper. I'm sorry I know how to talk.
It's like, it shouldn't even be a thing.
It shouldn't.
It just shouldn't be
not at all. Because like, people always say, "Marcus, where are you from? You talk so well." I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm not a hillbilly. I don't got to talk like I'm Southern all the time. I can bring it out if I want to, but if I want to be presentable, I'm not going to do that. Like, I mean, this whole it's crazy, dog. It's crazy.
You think change is? I mean, I think things are moving the right direction.
They're moving.
I mean, I give a lot. I try to not talk shit on Twitter because without Twitter, I genuinely wouldn't have a business. Like, that was the first platform the Spurs Up Show popped on.
True.
But I also acknowledge like Twitter is extremely
toxic.
Because the greatest and worst part about Twitter is everybody has a voice. So even the people that shouldn't do.
Yes.
But I think in this situation, I do think there's some good coming out of it. Because like that George Floyd situation, you might not even know about it if you didn't have smartphones and Twitter and all
which
that
is
shit.
very true, which makes me think how much stuff was going on before YouTube, Twitter, MySpace.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
We need police reform. I don't say defund the police because we still need them. We need to just reform the whole country and just have a talk.
Right.
If we had a president that would talk and just say, we got to stop this. We're all Americans. Yeah, I'm an African American.
Human being.
And you're a white American, we're still American. And the thing about it, we're boys. Why can't the world coexist like how we do?
Right.
I just don't get it, bro.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not one that thinks all cops are bad or anything.
Me neither.
But
I have friends that are
I mean,
cops.
I'll tell you, I'm a white person. I don't love I don't want to get pulled over. There's just so much. It's not a good thing when you get like that sick feeling in your stomach when you have to deal with cops. You know what I mean? Like
with me driving the car, the car.
I mean, I can't even imagine what you feel.
Exactly, bro. Like with me driving the car, that I do, it's fast. It makes noise.
Right.
And so like when a cop pulls behind me, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta straighten up, because you never know. And one time I got pulled over, the cop was walking to my car with his hand on his holster,
right?
And he's like, "Do I smell weed in here? Do I smell weed in here?" I'm like, "No, sir. There's nothing in here. Why are you suspecting anything?"
Right.
Like they always just discriminate, bro. Like right. I have friends that are cops, and when the riots were happening, she was scared, but I was like,
right,
y'all caused it,
right.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I think it just, I've heard other people talk about different podcasts, stuff like that. Like, I think it definitely needs to be where it's harder to be a police officer. Like, they need to be better paid. Like, everything needs to be reformed. I agree with you. You need to, if they got to start over or whatever, but something's got to give. Something's got to change.
We got an election coming up. Go vote. But we got an election coming up. I don't like either of the candidates right now, but we got to.
Yeah. Hey, that's the thing. That's one thing I'll say. And I'm not a political guy at all, but I'm like, why do we have so many shitty candidates for everything? Because you can't live in America and say that you can't pretend like our candidates are we have these all-stars. You know what I mean?
How in the world can President Trump walk into the United Nations, sit down and have a normal conversation without getting laughed at?
I mean,
at
least not on at least on the inside.
I'm like, bro, you have world leaders, but we got a freaking reality TV star.
Right.
What is that, bro? And then Kanye wants to run for president. What is this?
I mean, dude, that's the thing is I'm not political because bro, I'm conservative about some things and liberal about some things. I'm not red or blue. But I'm just why can't we where's our and I hate to put it, it sounds so corny, our knight in shining armor.
Facts. No, you're
There's
right.
There's nobody
you're
we
right.
can hang our hat on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
At this point, it's bro, I'd almost rather The Rock run for president. Just at least he's cool. At least he's cool. Where's our cool guy?
He's not a freaking rapist and stuff, dude. So
he's not some old washed up, just weirdo. Pretty much is what it feels like.
His freaking hair's gonna fly off when he walks on the wind.
No, it's crazy
with his prostitute wife.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. So before we wrap up, I know we're doing good on time, but before we get out of here, appreciate you coming on. What's the? Can you give us a sneak peek? What the next drop is, because I know you got shit lined up, shit in the works. I mean, without giving up too much detail, what's the what do you got planned coming up?
So for right now, I have the song "Satisfaction" by Benny Benassi. It's a really old techno song. I got that remix ready. I got a remix for this dude named Nasty, who was going to put it on his remix EP, but it passed and I didn't get to send it to him. I got that ready. I have a Rascal Flatts remix on the way.
That sounds fire.
Life is a highway.
Hey, that sounds fire. I think I saw you tease that one.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Bro, I have a lot of stuff. I have literally 46 unreleased songs just waiting to be dropped.
Love it.
Because I'm taking a break from producing so I can get my job right. And everything. So
and I think it's probably perfect timing, all the shit going down.
Exactly.
So I mean,
exactly. Because I've talked to some of my artist friends and none of them are making music right now. Right. So I'm fine.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let everybody know where you plug yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you. Let everybody know where they can find you because again, you've been you're good. Yeah, let everybody know where they can find you. All your social media, SoundCloud. Everybody always asks the question, where can I download the Sandstorm remix? Let everyone know what the deal is, where they can find you at.
All right, so Twitter, Marco808. Also, my artist Twitter is It's Most Wanted. That's my artist Twitter for all my music and everything just like that. Instagram, same thing. Marco 808s is my personal. Music is it's most wanted with the underscore. And SoundCloud is just look up most wanted and you find all my stuff. I got songs with over 500K views, 13,000, 8,000 views. Like, bro, I'm big on SoundCloud. Like, my songs get played all over the freaking world and nobody knows it because we're in South Carolina. If I was in California, I will be big right now, dog. Like, dead ass. And I got friends that tell me that. Shout out Black Jesus. Shout out Mikey Berenici. I love your boys.
For sure. Hey, my guy, appreciate it. As always, bro, we got to do it again sometime soon. So for Marco 808s, the man, the myth, the legend, I'm Chris Phillips of the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk to you.